What do I do on my channel? Wait.
What's up YouTube people, it is Maxine here, and this week I am here with
Elena from Elena Claire's channel.
And Elena, why don't you tell the people what you do on your channel?
Over on my channel I do a wide variety of things. I do anything from travel and beauty and fashion to dating advice.
For this week's video, we are going to be doing a behind the lens episode, and it is going to be on the topic of music and how to use music in your videos. The first thing that we want to talk about is copyrighted music. So Elena, what is the definition of copyrighted music?
Essentially, copyrighted music is music created by an artist that has the exclusive and sole rights to that piece of music. So they're the ones that can reproduce it, license it, and share it.
So there is this myth and thought that on YouTube you are free to use copywritten music as long as it is less than 30 seconds.
If you use under 30 seconds of copyrighted music, from what I've been able to understand, it means that YouTube algorithms find it harder to pick it up, but that doesn't mean that you are necessarily allowed to use it.
If somebody isn't sure if something's copywritten or if it's royalty free, what should they do?
When in doubt, don't use it, is the most simple advice.
Exactly, and let's say that this happens to be the one video that somehow goes viral on your channel, you will no longer get any sort of pay for that video because you've used copywritten music. So what are your thoughts on using remixes?
Bigger YouTubers that have copyrighted music in their videos, it might actually not be the original copyrighted piece of music, it might be a remix. The only thing is that they always say that you still have to ask permission of the person who's remixed it.
Yes, and if it happens to sound too similar to the original piece of music, a lot of times YouTube will pick up on it as the original song and they will still mark it as copywritten. So I'm sure after hearing this, you're probably thinking,
well, what am I supposed to do? Everybody uses music in their videos, and I want to use music in my videos, so what other options do I have?
Your other option and best option is to use royalty-free music.
And what is royalty-free music?
Royalty-free music is created by musical artists that is more easily shared, and it allows you to use their music, and then you can actually monetize your videos.
There are 3 different types of royalty-free music that you should be aware of.
The first type of music is one where you can purchase the rights to the song, and that means that once you bought it, you can use it as many times in as many ways as you want. The second type is music that you need to attribute back to the artist. So in your video somewhere in the description or in the video itself, you need to give credit for using that person's piece of music. The third type is just the easiest to use of all of them. It's a free piece of music that you don't need to pay for or credit to anybody.
So if you are a cheapo like myself, I would definitely stick to the last 2 options. So as we mentioned, there are free music resources out there. And Elena, what are some of those music sources that you use?
The easiest one by far is YouTube's own video creators library. You just go into your creator studio and it has thousands of songs which YouTube updates all the time.
I personally get most of my music from the YouTube audio library as well. There was a point in time where I actually was getting some music from other YouTubers. There are certain YouTube accounts where they make royalty-free music for people to use.
There are different websites as well that also hold royalty-free music. So Incompetech is a little less necessary now to go straight to the website because Kevin MacLeod, who creates music there, also has his music on the audio library. Another great website you can use is the SoundCloud, where so many musical artists actually will create their own music for you to share and use in your videos. Again, you might need to attribute the music back to them or simply go and ask them for permission.
So Elena, how do you personally use music within your videos?
My use of music has gone through a lot of changes just with what I've started to learn and what I've learned from other people. So originally I would just use the one song and I would use it throughout the entirety of my video, and lots of people still do that. If you notice Tyler Oakley, he will use usually the same piece of music in every video and he'll use it throughout the whole thing. But recently what I've started to do is use multiple pieces of music in my videos, and sometimes it's for a special effect or an effect that I want the audience to feel.
I pretty much do the same thing. I'm starting to like figure out the different pieces and like putting them together, but I actually found out about that technique through watching Elena's videos. I also noticed that she would actually stop the music in certain places to create emphasis on something specific that's going on without the video.
No.
So Eleana, do you have several pieces that you have set aside that are kind of like your go-to songs?
In the beginning, I did tend to stick to just the one song, but recently I just enjoy finding more music and using it in different ways.
I'm still over on the other spectrum where I have like a go-to song and I keep it for a while. This one I've had for several months, but I've gone through several different changes of background music that I just use the crap out of. So when it comes to adding background music to your videos or music in general, is there a certain way that you actually edit it in there?
Well, first off, I listen to the piece of music in a variety of ways. I make sure to listen to it without headphones and with, because if you do it yourself, you will notice that it sounds a little bit different. But when it comes to actually cutting and editing the music, I never really let the music end. A better way of doing it is just to let it seamlessly flow into another piece of music, where if it's come to an end, then people will notice it, but if it's just flowed straight into the next one, it's less noticeable and they're more likely to just get the feeling from the music change rather than notice that that's the thing that's happened.
If you are a beginner with using music in the background of your videos, something that I would suggest, if you notice your music is coming to an end or you only have like 30 seconds of it left and you want to use the same song or a different song, you can always cut out a chunk of the music to where it gives a comedic purpose, and then you can change the song right after that. One other thing that I would like to mention under this category is instrumental music.
If you've made a video where there are moments or the entire thing doesn't have your voice in it, then absolutely you don't need to just use instrumentals, you can use somebody with vocals in it. But it is really off-putting when you are competing with the person who's singing in the piece of music.
So the last category that I have on here to talk about is sound effects. How do you personally go about using sound effects?
When it comes to sound effects, I definitely have my go-tos. I use a shiny ding and I use a blop mark. And these are just two sound effects that I add in when something appears on the screen, and it kind of draws a little bit of attention to it. Other sound effects that I use are always for comedic effect.
I would say that my most used sound effect would have to be the little blooper beep sound, and that is because at the beginning of my videos I tend to post a little blooper and then I use that sound effect to transition into the title of the video. Alright, well, I think we covered everything. I just want to say thank you to Eleana for being on my channel and being a part of this series.
Thank you for inviting me along. Do check out my channel if you feel like it.
Yeah, it'll be linked down below along with the video that we are filming over on Eleana's channel.
If you're interested in big YouTubers, specifically Dan and Phil, then you might want to take a little look. So make sure you click on my link in the description.
So that's all for this video.
So,
stay fresh
and
bye!